It's not what you say, but who you are in that moment that matters. Welcome to the Connect Method Parenting Podcast, where correction is out, connection is in, and your kids want to listen to you. I'm Andy Martineau, creator of Connect Method Parenting, here to help you stay calm, confident, and connected no matter what. What's up, everybody? It's Thursday, so it's CMP Book Club Day. Woo, woo! I love Book Club Day because it means I get to read another chapter from my book to you. If this is the first CMP Book Club episode that you've caught and you want to start with chapter 1, you can jump back to episode 32. That's where I read chapter 1 and the introduction to you. Or you can just continue on with me, whatever you prefer. If you want help implementing what I share in today's chapter, head over to cmp.works/CWB. I've included that in the show notes too, so you don't have to remember it. That's where you can get the companion workbook that I made to go along with the book. It's super helpful to take the concepts out of theory and put them into application with your kids. Alrighty, without further ado, let's jump in to today's chapter. Chapter 12, Set. If your child can't control her behaviors, that's a sign that your child needs you. She needs you to set a limit because she can't set one for herself. Set. Verb. Enforcing a rule, boundary, or limit with the intent not to teach a lesson or fix a problem, but to serve the child and keep them safe. When setting a limit, you're feeling compassion, empathy, and acceptance towards your child, not frustration or judgment. You're coming with understanding. For example, I wonder why he's doing this. Instead of judgment. For example, he shouldn't be doing this. You see the behavior as information and believe your child is doing his best in this moment. This is a set fueled by connection. Do I just let them run wild? You've worked through C of seen and heard and learned about the 3 mini steps, the stop, drop, and roll. C helps you slow down and connect with your child so you can know what to do next. If you decide that your child's behavior is off track, their thinking is not working, and they can't respond to your requests, then set could be the next step, but not the only possible next step. Let's suppose you ended up at set because your afternoon looked something like this. Your 10-year-old came home from school in a cheerful mood. He enjoyed the cookies you'd left on the counter and even played a game of Uno with you for 20 minutes. Everything seemed peachy. He asked if he could go outside and jump on the tramp. You said yes, knowing that he really needed some downtime after coming home from school. You let him play for 45 minutes, then opened the back door and said it was time to come in and start his homework. He seemed fine with that and got it done in 20 minutes. He was just about to go back outside when you reminded him he needed to do his chores first. This is when things started going south. Mom, why do I have to do that right now? I'll do it later. I'll put my laundry away tonight. I'm going to make my bed a mess again when I go to sleep in 5 hours, so I don't see any point to making my bed. I'm the only one who uses my bathroom, and I don't care if it's messy. This doesn't make sense. No, I don't want to. This isn't fair. None of my friends have to do chores. You are so mean. It caught you a bit off guard. Things had been going so well. You'd spent time connecting with him, let him play, made him a treat. So why was he acting like this? All you did was ask him to do 5 minutes of work. Then you remembered seen and heard. You leaned in and really worked on seeing him. You wanted to understand his perspective. You wanted to come with compassion and curiosity. And that's exactly what you did. You came in close, listened, and got curious. You looked him in the eyes. He looked back. You started to think about the next right step that would serve him. This is where seen and heard gets fun. It's like choosing your own adventure. You could have decided to play, more on that later, but you weren't feeling it. So you decided to set the limit first and see what would happen. Let's review the set protocol to find out exactly what that would look like. The set protocol. Step 1. Decide what limit you're going to set and why. Get clear on the why. If it's to teach him a lesson or because you don't want to let him get away with something, check yourself and review the definition of set to remind you the intention behind setting a connected limit. Step 2, state the limit in an unemotionally neutral way using 5 to 7 words. This is not the time or place to explain why you have the rule, how many times he's broken the rule, or what you're going to do if he doesn't listen and follow the rule. This is simply the time to state the limit. For example, I can't let you headbutt me. I can't let you talk like that. We don't throw things inside. Step 3, wait and see what happens. If needed, follow up with another limit of 5 to 7 words. Then evaluate and see which seen and heard step you want to take next. The second limit might sound something like this: we don't do this, or no throwing. When you set a limit, feeling compassionate and understanding towards your child, he can feel it. This is how you set a limit fueled by connection, not correction. Setting a connected limit allows your child's nervous system to relax. Your lack of frustration signals to his nervous system that he doesn't need to protect himself from you. The limit you set draws a firm line on what behavior is allowed without compromising the relationship. As a result, his emotions move up and out. Your relationship with him stays strong, and the clear boundary is maintained. If you're new to Connect Method Parenting, I have a great way for you to get started. I created a free course that covers some of the biggest challenges parents are facing and how Connect Method Parenting solves them. In an hour, we're going to talk about why parenting is so hard, how to get your kids to want to listen to you, how to stop yelling and losing your cool, and become that calm, confident, connected parent for good. It's the fastest way to get started using connection as your go-to tool for influencing and impacting your kids. Go to cmp.works/course to get instant access today. When you set a limit, separate what he is doing, the behavior, from who he really is, an amazing, imperfect human. This helps reduce frustration. If your child has irrational behavior, he's not thinking straight. His nervous system is in protection mode. Big emotions have flooded his body. He can't control himself at that moment. If he could, he wouldn't be yelling, hitting, or throwing. That's why he needs you to set a limit on his behavior, because he can't. If you can feel empathy and understanding as you set the limit, his nervous system will feel it. You'll be creating an opportunity for your child to feel seen, heard, and validated by you when he's at his worst. This gives him a chance to stop reacting to his big emotions by yelling, screaming, hitting, and start feeling his big emotions by crying, surrendering, accepting. The connection, recovery, and healing process has begun. Ensure safety. Your job in that moment isn't to teach him a lesson or fix his behavior. It's to ensure he is safe and to pave a way for him to return to higher thinking. If there is hitting or throwing involved, you'll want to stop that behavior by either moving to a different room or moving objects away. You might keep him from grabbing another glass out of the cupboard or help a child out of the bathroom if he's preventing his siblings from getting ready for school. Come close with compassion. Shouting from the other room, "Stop it," at the child whose behavior is irrational won't work. You have to come close. It's not what you say, but who you are in that moment that matters. Are you able to come with kindness, love, and acceptance? Can you be compassionate and firm as you set the limit? Can you be curious instead of critical as you set a limit? 5 to 7 words. Keep it short and sweet. They aren't thinking well if they're in the middle of an episode of off-track behavior. They can't process a lot of talking. And forget about them being able to follow your logic and reason. Be succinct. State the rule clearly in as few words as possible. Say it as, unemotionally and neutrally as you can. If you have set a limit twice and nothing has changed, move to a different step in seen and heard. If they're really emotional, they probably need some time to process the emotions that have bubbled up as a result of you setting a limit. Typically, this means you'll want to move to the stay step. Maybe you think it's an understanding problem, not an emotional problem at this point. I've had lots of parents tell me they need to explain things when an issue comes up or off-track behavior starts happening. They want to make sure the child understands the rule and why they shouldn't break it again. It's unlikely that the child lacked understanding. It's more likely that she was disconnected from who she really is and just made a bad choice. If you pull her aside and talk to her about what she already knows she messed up on, what will she think of you after the lecture? What is the likelihood that she'll stop doing the behavior you just lectured her about? Low in both cases. However, if in that moment, when your child hasn't behaved well, you stay lovingly connected, you stay with her no matter what, you make sure she feels safe, you acknowledge any signs that she is getting back on track, you allow her to take her time to feel her emotions, you let her know that you understand this is hard for her and that you are right here supporting her, what will she think of you? How likely is it that she'll listen to you? High in both cases. Keep your sentences short and your emotions calm. Children crave limits and boundaries. Here's the truth. Your children need limits. They need rules. They need boundaries. When children have off-track behavior, their thinking has gone offline. It's like their computer processor has lost power. They need help getting their nervous system to settle down so they can start thinking better. You settle the nervous system down by creating the parameters for the perfect storm. Instead of letting the emotions fester inside of them and spin out of control, you set a limit. You give them something to focus those frustrated emotions on, which is a blessing and a curse, sort of. A blessing because your child is being given the chance to move and feel his emotions in a safe place. And a curse, well, kind of, because you are going to have to weather that storm with him. Most likely, while he's blaming you for the storm. If she tells you you're mean, that's perfect. You've given her someone to focus her negative emotions on other than herself. You're helping the emotions to stop spinning inside of her and move outside of her. Now she can stop holding on to them and get rid of them. While she's storming, blaming, and upset with you that you've set a limit, remember that nothing she says or does has anything to do with you. The resulting storm is because she's been holding on to frustration about something not working for her in her life. Your job is to help her release the worst emotions that she's been feeling inside in a way that won't hurt other people. Your child hates feeling frustrated, angry, and upset. She wants to be cooperative, kind, and easygoing. That's her natural state. But first, she must get her nervous system to feel safe enough to feel, not react to her big emotions, which happens when you're able to set a limit while simultaneously feeling compassionate and non-judgmental towards her. Once she feels safe and starts feeling her emotions, she can return to her true nature of being kind, loving, and cooperative. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, come check out League, my Connect Method parenting coaching program, where we take this material and we apply it using my proven formula. Head over to cmp.works/join.